Well, good day to all of our awesome family out there. T. Lamont Silver Sr. here with our Tuesday, June the 25th post. Tonight at 7 p.m. we will have our team webinar. We'll have our team webinar at 7 p.m. as is our tradition. And so we look forward to seeing you on tonight. We'll be covering some of the things that we covered on last night on the company's corporate webinar, making sure that you good folks understand what's coming about. By now, we now should be settling in. We should now be settling into the new compensation plan. For the most part, how it works. The PDF is still not up just yet. My understanding is that some of the things that are still being worked out mathematically, are things dealing with like the rank advancement bonuses that go up to $1 million. Well, you got to work that out mathematically in terms of if someone hits that $1 million bonus, because on the way to $1 million bonus are a lot of other bonuses, rank advancement bonuses. And so those things are being worked out in terms of the volume that's needed in one's various organization to start to hit those particular ranks. But by and large, the compensation plan, particularly on the bonus level, is it's squared away. I will just cover a couple subtle things over the last week or so that maybe some of you have seen on some webinars, but maybe didn't quite understand. So we'll connect those dots. Okay. Now, over the past few weeks, we've been doing a Tuesday night webinar and a Thursday night webinar, and they've all been Juby specific. What we're going to do is we're going to start to change things up here. Tuesday night will be Juby specific webinars with our team, and then Thursday webinars for at least for the next few weeks. The Thursday webinars are going to be more of a marketing training webinar. Now we'll start off, laying a foundation. All right. So, but the purpose of that webinar is, one, to bring value to you. Again, if you don't know how to market, it doesn't matter what you are marketing. And in our period of reflection of the last 4 or 5 weeks, where we see that we missed the mark with our following was even when we were, heavy into the revenue sharing model, and we know that model will not stand. That model will not stand long term. Again, we've covered that over and over again, so I'm not going to keep rehashing that. That model will not stand. If you don't know why, then go back and look at some of our other videos that we've posted as to. And you know what? I may post one last video just hitting that for people that maybe haven't come to some of our webinars. So I probably will do that. I know how to have a riveting title and let you know when that video is posted. So when people are asking you about the revenue sharing model and why yours truly, who was one of the biggest advocates, maybe the biggest advocate of that model, can no longer and will no longer promote the model as we had come to love her, we'll probably do a video on that. Okay. All right. So in any event, so as we've had this period of reflection, one of the things that we feel that we know we missed the mark is teaching people how to fish, not just giving them a fish, but teaching them the marketing methods and marketing skill sets, teaching people what I've done. How have I built a very large following? How have I connected with that following? How have I built a bond with that following? And again, I go back a couple weeks ago, I won't say few, a couple weeks ago, I had a conversation with a buddy of mine who I've got the greatest admiration, respect, and love for. I love him dearly. We've been connected for years and years and years in some form or fashion. Even if we weren't in the same company that we're presenting the same company, we're brothers in this industry. And I had the discussion with him, and I just asked him, I said, hey, if I came to you brand new, somehow I got on your email list or what have you, I've seen you rise to the top of several different companies. What will you teach me? How would you share with me how to build my business? And he had a very difficult time answering that question. And I'm certainly not judging him, because I had to go back and say, well, gosh, what have I done? over the past couple of years since we've been talking about, hey, if you're not good at recruiting, if you're not good at sponsoring, don't worry about it. Just come and join us. What did I do? What did I do to make sure that people could begin to learn the marketing skill set? Now, we can teach people all day long, and we can bring others that can teach their various niches in terms of how they build their following. And it doesn't mean that a person is going to follow suit or apply. I can't make someone sit down and eat. But what we can do is open up the restaurant, the buffet. And so ladies and gentlemen, here's the bottom line, okay? Here's the bottom line. When you learn how to market, it doesn't matter what you're marketing. Okay. Now, if you don't know how to market, it doesn't matter what you're marketing. It could be the greatest product, the greatest compensation plan, the greatest this, the greatest that, and it won't matter. Once you learn how to market, it doesn't matter what you're marketing. And so as I look back in my time of reflection now, I look back at my marketing career when I started to learn how to build teams. And let's say something happened over here with the company. The first time I was with the company and we had some successes and we built a following, it was a company called ITI, International Teamworks. And there was a little shakeup in the management there. There were 3 owners. One of them left, and I wasn't quite sure what was going on. And so the one owner that left and was starting another company, he was the owner that had come to our local area. This is before we started doing a lot of things on the internet. So he had come to our local area on several occasions, so I'd built a great relationship with him. And so I was on a conference call just trying to figure out what was going on, what was happening. And I was really, it was the first time I'd had any type of success. First time I saw MLM politics. I'd never seen it up front because I'd never been successful enough to be in a position to see it, okay? And there's MLM politics, okay? All right, and so for the first time, I was actually shafted by a company. All right, what happened was I get on this gentleman's conference call to try to figure out what was going on. That conference call was recorded. It was passed over to the owners of ITI. The owners of ITI never connected with me personally. They just simply cut off my check and cut off my access to my back office, so on and so forth. But it was because I had a following that when we then went to our next venture, didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice that we had people that came with us because we built a following. And so if we're not engaged in daily activities to build our following, to build our list, we're not in business. And so now, as I've had this point of reflection, I'm saying, okay, wait a minute. Tila, what's been your real business? Was Zeke Rewards your business? Was Go Fun Places your business? Jubi, cut me. I'm going to bleep Jubi. Is Jubi your business? No. You know what my business is? You know what your business is? Your business is you and your following. That's your business. Your business is you and your following. So now, if you don't have a following yet, then it wouldn't matter if you had however many points. You're not really in business, because what happens if something happens to the underlying company? So your business is you and your following and any business that you're promoting. I promote Jubi. I will continue to promote Jubi. Jubi is an extension of my business. But just like when ITI went away from me, I didn't leave them, they left me. If I had not developed a following, I would have been out of business. Look at what happened when Zeke Rewards died. I wasn't out of business. I wasn't out of business. Why? Because I had me and I had my following. I had me and I had my following. And so the where we fell short was not teaching people how to develop your following. So if your business is you and your following, then our focus should be on you and your following. Because if you've got you and you're working on you, this is why I love Boomy Moore's Empower Me Now moments, because that's all about working on you. That's why, for instance, I don't even go to some of the Skype rooms right now because, some people are upset, some people are bitter. But you know what? You can't stay in that toxic environment. I'm not going to stay in that toxic environment. All right. I've had some people on some of our videos that have, used expletives. You've never heard me use an expletive. Don't come on my channel and put an expletive. Well, but you know what? I'm not going to get upset with that person. You want to know why? I don't have time for it because my business is me and my following. So now, what our focus is going to be is teaching you, working on you, and then helping you develop your following. So yes, you're going to learn some methods. You'll figure out which methods best suits you, best suits your time, best suits your resources. You're going to learn some methods to be able to start generating your own following. And this will not be something that you do 1 or 2 days. The rest of your career in this industry is about you developing your following. Now, some people call it a list, all right? Many of the internet marketing gurus out there refer to it as a list. I'm going to refer to it as a following because it's one thing to have a list. It's another thing to have a great relationship with that list. I was talking just the other day with another internet marketer / network marketer, okay? And I say internet / network marketer because this person is more of an internet marketer first, a network marketer second, all right? But I was talking with them the other day, and we were talking about, for instance, when I sent out emails via an autoresponder. So we're going to want to make sure that everyone's equipped with an autoresponder so you can build your list. And I was telling them what my average open rates are when I send out an email to certain particular lists of mine. When I send out an email to those in our Jubi list, we've got a very, very, very high, much higher than industry standard open rate. All right. Well, see, that's more than just a list. That's a following. That's having built a bond with those. And so once you learn what your real business is all about, your real business is you and your ability to build a following. So that means you're building a list, but you're also building a bond with that list. That's what I mean by following. You're building a list, but you're building a bond with that list, where that list, that following, they come to know you. They come to like you. They come to respect you. They come to trust you. So someone, for instance, that is maybe in Skype, and maybe recently we had a webinar, and someone posted some non-flattering things in the webinar. That person is not a person that's in my following. They might be in my list, but they're not in my following. Because I got a call the other day from someone who's in my following who said, T. Lamont, I know this hadn't quite worked out the way that you were thinking it was going to work out. It hadn't quite worked out the way I thought it was going to work out originally. Okay, and they talked about how they got their mom in the business and they got family members in the business, and this is what they ended up saying. They said, but you know what? Whatever you tell me, wherever we're going, however we're doing it, I'm with you because I believe in you, and that's what you want to create. All right, believing in someone doesn't mean that anybody's perfect. You're not going to be perfect. You're going to have you're going to promote something that maybe doesn't go the way you expect it to go, and there's going to be those folks that are not part of your true following. That because people are just fickle. All right, that's people. People are fickle, and there's nothing that you and I can do about that. You can't say the right thing to the wrong person. But then you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And so what our focus, ladies and gentlemen, is on building you and helping you to build your following. What's your business? Say, it's me and my following. Say it with me. My business is me and my following. Say it with me. My business is me and my following. And any business that I promote is simply an extension of my business. You are building your own global internet business conglomerate. It's about you It's about your following. It's about you, and it's about your following. If we start to understand that, start to embrace that, and start to build from that standpoint, guess what? You'll always be in business. You'll never be out of business. And as you learn this marketing skill set, whatever methods suit you, whether it's the upcoming launch of our training portal, we still have a few weeks away from that. We've had a mastermind event just the other day. I think it was it was on Sunday night, where we've got some leaders who are putting together their special training, video training, so that you can go and start to determine which of these methods best suit you. And start to get a method down, I don't expect you to put everything on the plate when you come into the buffet, but find that method that resonates with you and you work that method. And then once you get good enough with that method, all right, to where it's not a chore, it's something that now just becomes common space. For instance, what's common for me is to do a video every day, at least 5 days a week. All right, that's common for me to do a video. All right, this is not a chore. Now, I had to learn how to do all this stuff, but this is not a chore. Okay, so now that I've got this method down to where it's not a chore, now I can pick up another method. So there's another method, a higher level marketing method that I've been studying for the past couple of weeks. And as a matter of fact, what I've done in my studying of it, I still am doing what I know to do, what is comes now easy for me to do because I've done it so many times now. All right, but I'm spending time working on my business. How am I working on my business? I'm working on me. How am I working on me? Because I'm getting more education. I've connected with some folks that have a better that use this particular method, and they've used this method for tremendous success. So what am I doing? I'm working on me, because what's my business? It's me. If it's up to be, it's up to me and my following. And so now what happens is, as I work on this method and I get really good at this method, now I can come back to my following and bring them more value by teaching that method, and thereby endearing myself even more to my following. So that's what we are about. That's where we are headed. We will continue with the videos that we'll be posting. Yes, we'll talk about what our team webinars and what have you, but what I want to do with the videos that going forward that we'll be posting is making sure that we give you value, we give you nuggets, things that you can take and ponder over and then begin to apply. All right, so say it with me as we come off of this webinar. What's your business? What's your business? Say it with me. Say, my business is me and my following. Say it with me. My business is me and my following. Say it with me. My business is me and my following. As long as you continue to work on you, and then you start to learn how to build a following, not just a list. Not just a list. A list is important. A list is important. We've got to start there with the list, but ultimately we've got to build a bond with that list. And that's where you have a following. That's where you have a following. I was talking with Amber the other day. She's going to be doing some phenomenal training with us, and she's been an understudy of one of the top internet marketing gurus out there, a gentleman by the name of Dagan Smith. And, I won't mention certain numbers, but because he's built not just a list, but a following, he essentially can print money on demand. Whether he's got a new product he's about to release, whether there's a new training series that he's promoting or selling, if he were to get involved with a new marketing company or what have you, or to add an income producing company or system to his repertoire, guess what? Because he's got a following, He sends out that email. He's got, I mean, googums of people on that email, and enough people in there that are tied into him that he can essentially print money on demand. Why? Because he worked on himself and his following. That's what we're going to help you do. We love each and every one of you. Let's change the world together, starting with yours.